Hey everyone, this video is about the Black Bear mountain bike race at Kanawha State Forest in Charleston, West Virginia. Don't forget to click like and click subscribe. This video just a little bit different. We're going to go around and we're going to talk to the other people in the race. They're going to tell us a little bit about their racing experience and what kind of bike they're riding, so stay tuned. So how long have you been biking and what kind of trails do you normally ride?
I've been mountain biking for like over 20 years, but I was off for a long time, and then I got back into it in 2018.
And what kind of bike do you have here with you today?
This is an e-bike. This is a high bike. It's German. I got it in 2018, and ever since I've been on this is the coolest machine I may have ever purchased in my life. It truly got me back into mountain biking. It is an absolute blast to do, so I've really enjoyed it. It's great fun.
And do you know your travel on the bike?
Yeah, it's 180 front and rear. This is enduro spec, so this is 180 millimeters front and rear.
So I've been riding probably 8 to 10 years, primarily road bikes. I've done triathlon, done a half Ironman. But I hadn't ridden any mountain bikes until a couple of days ago and loved it so much I went and bought a bike and now I came to race.
My name is Gunnar Sjogren and Morgantown, West Virginia, and I've been racing bicycles with a lot of commitment since 1987. I've probably been down here, maybe 87 or 88 was the first time they came down to the Black Bear. And I've come down here and had good times. I've come down here and had some really bad times and multiple stitches and things, but I keep coming back. So right now I'm doing a little pre-race adjustment, making sure that the shock and the fork are all up to snuff, and because it hasn't been ridden for a whole lot lately, I just want to make sure we're good for the conditions and all that.
So you need an emergency care too.
This year I'm racing on a Cannondale Moterra with the Bosch motor. And I've got 160 travel front and rear, maybe 150 in the rear, but plenty for this type of stuff. But it makes the e-bikes, because you do have this little motor back right there, you can run, and the bike weighs a little bit more. These bikes weigh about 50 pounds. You tend to need to run stronger, more durable, more aggressive casing, and it actually is a whole lot more fun than a lightweight racing tire and bike, because you can hit the stuff up here. It's very technical and rocky in places, and the Maxxis Minions just rip through this stuff, and it really makes a difference in my ability to go faster, to push the limits a little bit more, and just the ability to not worry about flatting and pinching and tearing things off. I've ridden here many times with just a regular bike, and it's always a concern, what tire am I going to run? I don't want to run too heavy of a tire, but I need some protection, and I need some knobs and things like that. So with these, it gives you that little buffer of being able to run a more aggressive tire and being able to have fun out there. So real happy about that. And just checking things over. We did have to do a brake swap, or a brake change on my wife's bike from the Cooper's Rocks race, which you were at. Lots of brake changes last week and this week, from people that did the race. It just burned up the pads. Cooper's Rocks is just so so sandy, silty soil, and it was just so wet. Everyone's brake pads were shot, and I just didn't have a chance to get looking at hers until this morning, and so we stopped at the bike shop, got some pads and changed them here, and so now I need to go over her bike and make sure everything's okay. But we're getting ready. It's going to be coming soon.
So how long have you been riding mountain bikes?
I have been riding mountain bikes
You ready for a picture?
on a regular basis since 2016 when I moved to Morgantown, but I've been riding road bikes since 2001, so I have a lot of experience rolling on two wheels.
And how long have you been riding the e-bike?
The e-bike I got last year.
At the beginning of last year.
Yeah, last year.
Okay. And how many races have you did?
Well, we did the full GNCC last year, which was on the e-bikes. Was that 9 races?
8.
8 races, and then I've done 2 so far this year.
Okay, okay.
Two, and those were both Wavumba races.
Okay, good, good, good. And what is the puppy's name?
Oh, this is Mr. Furley. He's named after Don Knotts,
Started motorcycles, GNCC off-road, got injured, thought I'd try the bicycle, and the e-bikes are great for somebody older, injuries. It allows you to still be able to compete, and it's fun. I got a Specialized e-bike from Walmsley Cycle in Morgantown, and I enjoy it very much. Family atmosphere. Thank you.
And I'm racing the 2018 Liv. She's been through a lot. She's got some paint missing. That's okay. I'm hoping to do well with the race today. I haven't ridden my bike in a while, winter and everything, and been riding the Peloton though.
This is Russ for Fresh to Extreme, and here is my bike check. Same as it was last race. This is the Revel Ranger version 1. Starting from the top, you have the 1-Up components, 75 carbon handlebars. Got wolf tooth, big, mushy, squishy grips here. Got TRP brakes. They have access, wireless, dropper post, reverb, and then also in the back, wireless drivetrain. Eagle 52 cassette connected to carbon XX1 cranks, oval chain ring. We got all Fox Kashima coated DPS in the back, 34 step cast in the front, Magped pedals, and hopefully this will. Oh, another thing that's different from last bike is I switched my tires out because I was slipping and sliding last time, and it was very scary. So I switched to some gravity tires by Specialized. Got the Eliminators T7, T9s in the back, which is trail and gravity rated. And then we got the little lighter on the front, gravity tire T9 on the front too. Get more traction, has a pretty good rolling resistance. And that's it.
I'm Grace. I've done a few enduros, downhill race. I'm on a Trek Remedy. It came as a 160, 150. I changed it to 170, 150. I've been riding for 3 or 4 years now.
And what is your name and how long have you been riding?
My name is Kenny Hawkins, and I've been pedaling bikes ever since I was 5 years old.
Okay, and where do you normally ride at?
I am from Preston County out of West Virginia. As a young lad, didn't have a lot of money, and the one thing I was able to do is piece together some bikes and ride them throughout the woods.
All right, good. How many races have you did?
I've only done, this is my 3rd e-bike race. I'm most of the time race dirt bikes and 4-wheelers. I had an injury and I'm trying to get back in shape. And for right now, this is how my method of getting back in shape.
And what kind of bike are you on today?
I'm on a Fantic. It's an Italian bike. Not a lot of people heard of it, but back when I purchased this bike, this is the only one I could get with the pandemic and all. It's hard to get a bike, and this is the only reason. That's the only reason I picked the Fantic. No real particular reason.
So what is your name and how long have you been riding mountain bikes?
My name is Jeff Bolte. I raced BMX when I was 16, and I bought an e-bike to cross-train for stand-up jet ski racing in the early 90s, and fell back in love with being in the woods and pedaling, and got an e-bike about 6 years ago when I was living in California, and just really fell back in love with cycling. It's got me into racing. I became our local Harco Mountaineer NICA team head coach, and so I've been racing mountain bikes for about 6 years now, but riding bikes for about 56 years.
And how many races have you did so far this year?
This is my first Wavumba race, but I do the GNCC series, so I did race in Indianapolis 2 weeks ago, and I went to Ohio to race yesterday, and our race got canceled due to the rain, so that's why we're here. I brought a couple buddies with me, a teammate and another friend, so we're here to take part in the Wavumba series and see what it's all about.
And lastly, what kind of bike are you riding today, and what can you tell me about the bike?
I ride a Specialized Levo Comp. It's a electric pedal assist bike, and I'll be 60 this year, so it makes me able to keep up with the young riders and have fun. And of course, when you're racing e-bikes, everybody's on one. But it just opens the sport up for an old beat-up guy like me to get out and have fun.
What is your name and how long have you been riding?
Andy Cremines, and 30 years, 30-ish.
And what kind of riding do you normally do?
Single track gravel.
Okay, good. And what kind of bike are you riding today?
Riding a Santa Cruz Chameleon, single speed. I think I'm the only one in the class today.
What are you doing here at the race today? I see you have a bicycle on display.
I do. I run a bicycle shop and a motorcycle shop combined in Huntington called the Cycle Center. I've got a few sponsored racers here that are racing today, and so I kind of come down to offer a little support to them. And then the promoter of this race, Tracy, is a friend of mine, and I want to be part of that too. But also e-biking in particular has caught on a whole lot in this area. A lot of guys have been mountain biking for a long time, but the new electric assist ones are really getting popular. And I had a few ones to come and show some people, so I brought them down so guys can ride them while they're here.
And tell us a little bit about the bike you have in front of you.
So this is a new class of e-bikes that's gotten real popular. Traditionally, e-bikes have been powerful, big, and heavy, and capable to climb hills at a really good speed. The concept of this one is, instead of having something that's really powerful for guys to rip around on, it's kind of blending that and a regular mountain bike to the point that you're getting a much lighter weight bicycle than a normal e-bike would be. And it has more of a normal bicycle sort of feel on it when you're out riding it, but it doesn't produce quite as much power. So it's really popular with current cycling enthusiasts who just want to be able to ride a little bit longer without getting so tired during the day. Or maybe you've got really fast friends and you want to be able to keep up with them on regular bikes, but you don't have the energy to keep up on a regular bike, so this will give you enough assistance to keep pace a little bit with these guys. This particular one is the Orbea Rise, and it's one of the more powerful in that ultra lightweight class. It's actually probably the most attention getting one. This particular version of it is the Rise M20, which is the carbon fiber variant of that.
And how much travel does that bike have?
So this one's going to be 150 millimeter travel on the front end, 140 in the back. It's about 41 pounds, and so it's not as light as they actually have a version of this that's about 36 pounds, but a regular e-bike, like some of the others I've got around here, are close to 60, 55 to 60 pounds is a much more common weight.
So tell me a little bit about the bike you have in front of you.
Okay, so this is the Vast A1, and what it is, it's a gravel bike made out of magnesium, which a few companies have tried, but magnesium is it's a magical metal in some respects, has some really cool things about it, but it's also difficult to work with. It's very difficult to weld because it tends to explode into fire, and it corrodes in an interesting fashion. So the same company that owns Niner Bikes owns Vast here, this brand, as well as a few other brands, and they're a huge company, and they have figured out how to weld magnesium safely, in addition to coming up with a coating process that keeps it from corroding on the inside and the out. So that's the difficulties of magnesium. The real pluses are weight and ride character. Magnesium rides like steel, which anybody who's into gravel bikes and old school road bikes and old school mountain bikes, steel is that ride quality that so many people are looking for. Magnesium rides very similar to that, but weight-wise, it's a little lighter than aluminum. It's actually in between aluminum and an ultralight carbon frame for weight, and so you've got this steel sort of ride quality, extremely good acceleration, and the lightweight that people look for in some of the more expensive bikes. And these go for $1,900 to $2,500. They are not very expensive gravel bikes. The one built with this kit, the GRX 800, is right at $25, with the Stan's Grail wheels and the GRX on it. But they do have a 2x setup that starts out at $1,900. That's a really fantastic bike, and you still get the exact same frame.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. There's some information about what kind of bikes the racers are riding at today's race in Charleston, West Virginia.